Okey doke. Come close, Mr. Matt. Have no singing ditty from you today.
Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and/or its affiliate and supporting ministries and or nonprofits. Here they are, back in the saddle again with some guests on the line. It's Jeff and Peg, open-ended.
Hello, 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 and Mr. Jeff with the G is back at the studio.
Yeah.
And we have today, actually, we're kind of going internationally, right? We have East Coast, we have Midwest, and we have England. So I would like to introduce our guests. We have from New Jersey, and I'm married to a Jersey boy, Mr. Mark Carollo. Hello, Mark.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yes, and then we have Austin Michael that I used to teach when he was a little boy in Branson, Missouri. I used to teach him tap, and he is there in England. Say hello, Austin.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
And we have Ms. Bethany Mcdonald, a beautiful singer, actress, dancer, triple threat in England. And she's joining us as well.
From the West End.
From the West End. Hello, Bethany.
Hello, nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so happy. Today, we are going to talk about, well, my sister, Eileen Lee Nelson, who's not on today, but we'll have her on another day. She has been working on a show with Mr. Mark Carollo, and it's called Mike and Mindy's Wild Weekend Jam. And Jeff and I are in it as well. And do we play husband and wife, honey?
Yes.
And who do you play?
Your husband.
And who do we play? Are we parents to whom? Who are we parents to? Austin, who is there in England.
Mike.
We play
Yeah.
Mike and Mindy, Bethany, and Mark. You need to get on here and you need to tell us about Mike and Mindy's Wild Weekend Jam. Tell us how it got started. You are the writer. Tell us about it.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for this platform. I am extremely excited. So, Mike and Mindy's Jam was originally created about 6 years ago in New Jersey. I took on the writing task by myself. I'm originally a native New Yorker, and I wanted to create something fun and exciting for people to be able to come together and really laugh, have a good time, and get to understand some of the nuances and stereotypes that we come across as New Yorkers and tri-state area members. And so I wrote this fun show. Originally, it was called Mike and Mindy's Crazy Karaoke Party. And I was thinking about how to get it going. And ironically, I believe that the universe brought Eileen Nelson into my life because we had always met each other on and off year after year to talk about the different projects that we were doing. And right when I had finished writing the script, I ran into her in a pizzeria in New Jersey.
What
and
pizzeria,
I said,
Mark?
I can't believe
What
it was,
pizzeria?
I believe, oh God, something Cold Stone Pizza. It's on Route 9 in New
The
Jersey.
best pizza in New York and New Jersey. We know. Okay.
It really is.
Okay.
And so I ran into her there and I said, look, I've got this script. I want to show it to you. Please tell me if you think it has legs. And what she did was she decided to help me put up the original show. And the original show went up at the Hudson Guild Theater in New York City in Winterfest.
Was Austin in that playing Mike?
Well, that's where Mr. Austin comes into play. So basically, she had said to me, I think we have a real phenomenal lead, and I really would love for you to meet him. And
Okay,
we were going
can I
through the
interject
audition.
Something?
You absolutely can.
I take credit for that.
You do?
Credit for that because we met in Branson and we heard, Jeff and I, that Austin had moved to New York as an actor. And when she was saying we are looking for some, good actors to audition for this, I said, I have the perfect person.
Because
Yes,
I
I
told
did.
you.
Jeff
Because I
told
told
me.
you.
It was Jeff who told me.
Thank you.
And I said, oh my gosh, Austin. And we prayed that you'd like him. And I lead. And there you go. Go ahead, continue.
We love Weston.
We
So
love
basically, in walks this Midwestern guy. He has a great accent. I love accents. And he was like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? And so he came in and he gave us his headshot. And he sang a couple of bars for us, and Eileen had mentioned to us that you had raved about him, and we just thought he was the perfect fit. And he has been such a joy and a collaborator on this project. He's been with us on it from the very beginning. So he helped headline the show at Winterfest. And then what we decided to do at that point was to really try to make it go forward as a karaoke play and as a commercial licensed sort of jukebox musical.
One question.
We found it very difficult to receive the
Right.
commercial licensing for the music that we had initially.
Mark, one question.
Oh, Jeff's got a question.
Sure.
Okay. The one concern from our young, talented friend from Branson, Missouri, who was amazing in the national production of Peter Pan.
Oh, yes, we
among
saw
other
him
things,
when he was a little boy.
was
Not little.
that lovely accent. What accent were you looking for?
Well, that's a very, very good question. So, of course, we are looking for a much more native New Yorker type of accent going forward for sure.
New York
You got to have your coffee.
coffee.
No doubt.
We weren't too hardcore with
In the car.
Austin on the initial kickoff, but I'm sure we're going to work on some of those vowels for the
can do
next
that.
for the next piece.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
He's got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But remember, when we start
Continue.
talking about the characters, these characters are sort of the antithesis of who their parents are. And in particular, when we start talking about the stereotypes of who we might meet in New York, both leads kind of bring a fresh sense of fresh air because they are the nuances to their families. And we'll talk about those characters for sure.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
basically then what we did was Eileen and I met with the cast. We had another read through. And we were really thinking about the commercial licensing piece, and that's when we then also met Mr. Bucky Hurd and Mr. Tim Lee.
Okay. Who
And-
takes credit for that? Who takes credit for that?
Jeff,
Once again, another Branson, Missouri person. Is that
They are
amazing?
amazing, and they are amazing talents.
Yes.
And what we decided to do really quickly was turn the jukebox musical into an original musical showcase.
Yes.
And Bucky Hurd and Tim Lee came on board with us, and they wrote all of the original music,
And it's
which then
phenomenal.
helped us change the topic, or the title rather, to Mike and Mindy's Wild Weekend Jam.
Yes.
Eileen and I both revised the script around the music, and we have the luxury and pleasure of hoping to have Miss Bethany Mcdonald join us as well as Mindy.
Yes. Now, Bethany. Hello there, Miss Bethany. How are you doing?
How are you?
Good. Tell us, okay, first of all, I'd like to hear how Bethany and Austin met. And then you can just, we'll cut you off if we need to. But just tell us how you
Okay.
met and how you got involved with Mike and Mindy.
Yeah, so Austin and I met on a Royal Caribbean ship in 2019. We went on Liberty of the Seas and we did the Broadway show Saturday Night Fever.
Oh,
lovely.
Yeah, it was such a brilliant year, and we met in rehearsals and we had the whole year together. So, yeah, obviously we are now together.
so you're
And,
a real life couple, like Jeff and I are a
Real life-
couple.
Saturday Night Fever,
Real life
Staten
couple.
Island.
Staten Island.
There you go.
It's the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met that year, and then 2020 came along and COVID happened. So we had about 9 months apart in 2020 because of COVID. So,
And you grew
but
stronger, though. You're still together.
yes,
Right?
very true.
What is the quote? Absence makes the heart grow fonder,
Grow fun.
or it can
Yeah.
grow apart. So it grew fonder.
And the cat's no.
No. And Austin, how
Well,
did
he's
you get
in
to
England, so.
How are you doing over there?
Well, it was a really long swim, but
Oh, you're a good
I
swimmer.
spent the entire lockdown training for long distance swimming when I'm not acting. So I just swam over here, and here we are.
That's amazing.
No, I'm over here visiting. It's been lovely.
Oh, you
I've been here
sounded
for
British
several
just
weeks.
then. Lovely. Do we say lovely? here
Lovely.
in the
Oh,
Midwest?
lovely. It was chucking it down yesterday. It was absolutely chucking it down.
Ooh.
Oh,
It
I've
certainly
picked up
is a
all the
new accent that
Britishisms.
he's acquired while he's been there.
Oh, is that Mark? Is that
Yeah,
Mr.
that's Mark.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so tell us how you got involved. Tell us about your audition for Mike and Mindy, Austin. Tell us all about that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So, well, yeah, I have known Peggy Lee and Jeff with a G for many years. I performed for several years in Branson as a child actor from 2004 until 2010. So I've had the pleasure of knowing you two lovely people for a long time. You've watched me grow up and watched my career shape and twist and turn, and I'm so grateful for our friendship, first of all. But yeah, I met Mark Corallo and Eileen Nelson in 2018. Yes,
My
yes,
baby sister.
Peggy's
Hi. We will
Peggy's
send our
beautiful
love
baby sister.
to
Yeah,
Eileen.
we love you. We miss
miss
you.
but
Hi,
we'll have
Eileen.
you on. You and Bucky and Tim will have on another time.
Yes, we miss
Oh,
them
that
for
would be
sure.
lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be lovely. But I met Mark and Eileen back in 2018 when I moved to New York from Los Angeles. I lived in LA for about 7 years before that. And because I was talking with Jeff and Peg, they told me about the project and connected me with Mark and Eileen and ended up getting an audition for that and sent the breakdown. And I worked on the sides and the packet and the whole shebang, like we all do as actors. I prepped for the audition and I showed up and auditioned at, I think it was Ripley Greer, wasn't it, Mark? Was it Ripley or Pearl?
It was Ripley Greer Studios.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
going
Ripley
That's
Greer.
correct.
For many years.
Still
That's a
going strong, yeah.
good
They just
studio.
finally reopened in the last couple of months after being shut down. So, but yeah, that's kind of how we met, and I auditioned, and they gave me some notes and stuff, and did it a few times, and then I ended up getting to come back in and being paired up with some other cast members, that were being looked at and considered for the staged reading at the Hudson Guild that Mark mentioned for 2018 for Winterfest. And they ended up casting me and offered me the part. So it was just thrilling. And it was my first New York City bow. It was my first ever, gig in the city. So it was
And how
just
did Bethany get the
absolutely
part, too?
amazing. I moved there in January, and I think this all came about in February or March. I mean, it was right after I moved. So it was thrilling.
Well, I remember Eileen called me and she said, "Oh, okay, I can't influence Mark because we loved you." And I said, "Oh my gosh." She said, Mark has to love him. I have to be very careful because you are our friend." And then Eileen called me and she said, "Mark loves Austin." So that's always a
Oh.
good report, right, Mark?
He's not saying anything. So
That's exactly how it happened. That's correct.
Eileen was like, I cannot.
Confirmed.
Yes. So now, how did Bethany get involved in the project? I know Bethany is a phenomenal. We're going to have, in a little bit, I think we're going to be able to bring up one of the fabulous songs that Mike and Mindy do in the show and that Austin and Bethany have.
And
So
just
at the end of the
little
show.
insert, Peg,
Yes.
about Bucky. Bucky is a righteous brother. Ever hear of the Righteous Brothers? Bill Medley and Bobby Hatfield, who passed away about 20 years ago. You know Bobby Hatfield?
Yes, they are.
They never replaced Bobby Hatfield until Bucky came along.
No.
And he's amazing.
And Bucky is
Go
a
ahead,
phenomenal voice, and we had the opportunity to see him play with Bill Medley in New Jersey, and it was an incredible show. And his voice is a powerhouse, and the opportunity to have him on is really sensational.
Plus, Bill's musical director of how many years? 20, 25 years?
Tim Lee.
Co-wrote with Bucky.
You know how it's funny because when Eileen said you're going to go from jukebox to original music, she said, "Do you know any songwriters?" And we know a number of songwriters, so we sent some names. But then I said, "You know what? Bucky had written a few kids' shows that we had seen because Sydney, his daughter, I taught, and she's a dancer performer. So I said, I think Bucky writes other music." And he just started writing. He's very prolific. And Eileen and I were walking when he'd be sending some of the songs when we were back in New York, and they are really fabulous. It's wonderful, original material. And he knows about being an actor, progressing plot. So the music is
It's awesome.
progressing the plot, the beautiful, lovely story of the show.
We digress or regress.
We
Back to Bethany.
conversation hop.
I'm
We
interested in
conversation
Bethany
hop.
right now.
Okay,
I apologize.
Bethany.
I instantly
There you go. It's all about Bethany
It's all
now.
about Bethany.
It's all about Bethany.
Amazing.
Because she
Just
is
the accent
phenomenal.
I just love listening to her.
There you
Because
go.
she ain't New York.
You don't love
but
my
she can do it.
accent?
I
You
wanna
love
hear-
Bethany's?
I want to hear Bethany's New York
All right.
accent.
We want to hear Bethany as a British person because she is a phenomenal triple threat and she's
Take it to the
trained.
street.
So amazing. But Bethany, tell us about how you got involved with this project.
Yeah, so I met Eileen and Mark last year, and I heard about this show that they were putting on, and they'd written this original show, and I heard that the Righteous Brothers were affiliated, and they had, original music, and it sounded unbelievable. And they were casting, and so I decided to send in a self-tape, and I did, couple of scenes. I did Mindy's solo, and we did like a couple of rounds. They gave me notes and directions and things like that. And then, actually, COVID actually worked in my favor in this way because I didn't have to be in America for the auditions. I just sent a self-tape from my room.
Yeah, that's
So
the
that
way
helped
it's
me.
working now. It's working a lot for a lot of people
Even
that
across
way.
the street, you have to do that these
Yeah,
days.
you don't have to go on
I
5
know.
auditions to get the job, so you get
Yeah.
the final call back in person. So go ahead. Do you love
Yeah,
her
so I did
accent?
a couple
Is
of
it
rounds.
beautiful?
Yes.
Yes, okay. She's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I did a few rounds and I got some directions. And then after about a week or so of my final tape, I got a call from Eileen and Mark, and they offered me the part. And it was amazing. I was absolutely thrilled.
How is
I
your
couldn't
family
yeah.
in England? Now, I have to ask you, because as a little New York girl, to get on Broadway was, I'm going to cry right now, was a dream come true. That
Yeah.
is a big deal. But how is it even to do off-Broadway coming from your area? How is it? Is it a dream as well? I know the West End. Getting on the West End is dream.
Absolute dream.
Okay.
Absolutely, because obviously here the West End is the English big goal. That's like the biggest thing to do really in England. And then Broadway, it's kind of like this myth, it feels almost like this other planet, and the thought of going over and doing an off-Broadway show in New York City as an English girl is just unheard of to me. It's unbelievable. So when they offered me the part, I was like, what? Is this real life?
Yes.
Absolute dream.
Did you always want to be an actress? Tell us your early days. When did the dream start?
Well, if you look at any baby videos of me, I am literally in orange dungarees singing all day long. I knew every nursery rhyme. I was just constantly singing. Just always wanted to perform, really, which is funny, really, because when I was younger, I was quite shy. So when I'd go on stage, all of my friends or my mum's friends would be like, "How does she didn't speak to me yesterday, and now she's on stage singing like that? What's happened?" It didn't make sense. But it was kind of like me singing and performing was my little escape. Like I could do what I wanted to do.
That's
And
maybe
it's
what
just
God
I've just
placed
built
in
it
your
from
heart,
there.
Your destiny, what you were meant to do.
Absolutely. I
Did your
totally
parents
believe in
do
that.
it? Did any of your family members do theater?
My family members have all done like a musical instrument at some point, but I'm the only one who still is in the pursuit of it. My mum and dad always say they don't know where I got my voice from because they're both tone deaf. So
That is amazing. Wow. Did
Kind
you
of
take
the,
voice lessons from early on, or you were just a natural?
I did take voice lessons, yeah. I did the whole weekend at a stagecoach thing for a while when I was younger, and I was always in like the pantomimes at
Weekend at
Christmas.
Stagecoach?
Explain.
We're Americans. I don't think I've
Oh,
Weekend at Stage. What does that mean?
so a stagecoach is just like a place where you do acting, singing, dancing. You do it when you grow up. It's all ages, and you get to go for a few hours a weekend, and you put on a musical every 12 weeks or something like that. It's just training, basically.
Like a conservatory or a summer stock, I guess, or something. That's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go, stagecoach.
Coolio.
Okay.
I'm thinking like.
Yeah.
Did you know
Wild
that,
West.
Mark?
I did not know that. I've learned something new for
There
today.
you go.
He knows stagecoaches, cowboys, and
Exactly.
Native
That's why I was
Native
like,
Americans
what is
are politically
that?
correct.
Yes, yes. Okay. Did
Yeah.
everyone out there learn something new? How about you, Matt? Matt's a singer. He's here working hard on something.
I'm trying to get Bethany.
He's getting Bethany's picture up there and Bethany's video. They're
Peg, can we let Matt know that I do have a bit of an echo on my end?
Yeah, we're still working on it.
yes, yes,
They're
Got
gonna
it.
be performing in a very large theater. So
yes.
we're
Well,
spinning.
Jeff, did you know that my husband Jeff sang the national anthem at the Subway Series? That is a Yankee Mets game in New York for 55,000 people, and there was an echo of echoes.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Don't get him
on
started.
Echo. This-
Don't get
I'll
him
tell you-
started.
I'll tell you about Echo.
Talking
I-
about
next
echoes.
subject.
Can I recreate that now for you then?
Oh, Mark, Mark, I didn't know. Do you sing?
No, I
Mark
do
is
not.
going
I
to
do.
play
I-
Mr. C. Mark is a wonderful actor. He's a newbie actor because he's done directing, he's been writing, he's a teacher.
He's a big shot in the New York
He's-
school system.
Yes, yes, but he is in, you know what? It talks about in your, the second phase, in the midlife, you can transfer to other things. Are you, Mark, is that what you're doing right now? You're transferring over to becoming a famous actor?
Yeah, well, that's definitely one of the dreams. You know, I've actually had many conversations with Austin and Eileen about my career path. And for me, I definitely do think it was a life changer. Growing up in the time that I did, and particularly based on the writings of the show, which everyone has to come and see, one of the messages within Mike and Mindy's Wild Weekend Jam is to pursue and follow your dreams.
Love it.
And, you know, one of the things that a lot of people I think encounter is, do you take that leap of faith and do what you love, and do you really care what people think regardless of where you're at in that journey, or do you take the safe road and find a different path? And so for me, the first part of my life really gave me the opportunity to take a safe path, and I've done very, very well and made great choices with that, but we only live once. And I believe while we have these opportunities in front of us to create the dreams that we want to create, and if we can create them with good people along the way who can believe in our vision and help us to bring something to the world, particularly during this time of COVID when we need it the most, that's really my dream. And so whether I become an actor, a writer, or a director, my hope and goal is to just be in the arts as much as I can possibly be, doing what it is that I love.
That's why the show is one of those little special gems, because in life, especially now during the COVID time, we need to have dreams. We need to make people smile. We need to inspire. We need to help people see there's hope. And I do believe that's what this little gem of a musical will do. Do you agree?
Yes.
I'm not
A man
convinced.
of few words. A man of few words.
And I'm a wise guy.
He's a wise
obviously.
guy.
But Mark, yeah, maybe you could quickly give us the inspiration, and because jukebox, when we think of jukebox musicals, we often think unoriginal. You know, it's
That's
like,
why this
well,
Right.
make
went
an excuse
original.
to show off these songs and this or that. This is very original. That's what's an amazing thing about this, is that the music is original, the story is original. Where did it come from? Maybe you could tell us a little bit. Of.
I think the inspiration was really.
Tell us a little
I think
bit
the
about
inspiration was
incarnation of the
really.
show and where you're going with it.
Yeah, good question. I
And
think
and
that.
also where it is now with the theater and all that, just from start to end.
Absolutely. Good question, Jeff. And I from now on, I feel like I should be calling you Jeff with a G.
Gotta call him Jeff
So
with a G.
Peggy
Peggy Lee and Jeff with a G, and Mark with a C. Mark with a C.
and Mark with a
Austin
C.
with an A, and Bethany with a B. Done.
There we go.
Go ahead, Mark.
I think that I think the incarnation has taken twists and turns. I think that the initial idea of the show was to make people laugh and to have fun. It really was a basis of my upbringing in New York City. I really wanted, at the time, what I was really looking for was to take commercial music and use it as a tool to help all generations come together and relate to the actors in some way, shape, because I believe music is a vehicle that brings people together. So at that time as a writer, the storyline was extremely important to me, but of course it was the music that was going to be the drive that would bring the audience together and to relate to the story at hand. And when we realized that we were able to do that with original music, it really was a win-win, because both myself, Eileen, Austin, Bucky, Tim really had the opportunity to look at the lyrics, to see how the lyrics were fitting into the story, to see how the lyrics complemented the characters that we wanted to bring to life. It is a diverse group of individuals. We try to capture family relationships. We try to cover areas that are all areas of love, whether it be friends, whether it be romantic, whether it be family. And the goal is to make sure that all of these individuals' voices are heard some way, shape, or form within this show, and that you understand the complexity of the relationships that each of these characters have with one another. But within these complex relationships, the love that they all have for one another. And I believe that that's what audience members can relate to more than anything, because we all have families and friends that we have complex relationships with. And it's all about understanding that regardless of those complexities, that love is what shines through the most. And if you support one another, that is the overall message of the show.
Love never
The show
fails.
it never fails. And so, the show we are more than excited and thrilled, because we cannot believe that we've had the opportunity to work with Ken Davenport at Theater Maker Studio in New York City, who has helped us, along with Michael Sagrus, who is the owner of the Players Theater. And we will be putting on our off-Broadway premiere on November 4th in New York City.
So wherever you are out there, try to come to New York.
And tell us the address. I think the address is very cool.
The address is, I know it as the Players Theater, New York City, which is next to
it's down on
Cafe
McDougal
Wah.
Street.
McDougal. Jeff
McDougal
loves
on West Fourth.
McDougal Street.
Street,
He
somebody.
loves McDougal Street. Jeff and I went to grad school
Yeah.
down at New School, and we hung there. We did shows there, and it's a wonderful place. You got to come to the show, and then you can go have pizza down in that area.
Heart of the
Yep.
village.
Heart of the village.
There's so much to do down there.
West
There's
Village.
There's so much to
down
do.
there,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yes.
Kidding
there's
me?
NYU is on the corner, and the theater is connected to a really fabulous historical cafe/bar called Cafe Wah, WHA. And a lot of the audience members can go and hang out in that bar and cafe before they catch the show. The theater itself holds two theaters. One is a 100-seat theater with a proscenium stage, and then there is a smaller black box on the third floor, I believe. Is that correct, Austin?
I believe it is the third floor.
I think, yeah, it's the third floor, which we will be performing. And you can take in amazing restaurants. You can take in the atmosphere of NYU. We're going to be performing right around the holiday season, which transforms New York City in and of itself into a place for tourists to visit more than ever. So if you're there, you got to catch us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we have Ms. Bethany Mcdonald and Mr. Austin Michael singing one of the songs from the show. I believe it is Over the Top, and it's an original song written by Bucky Hurd and Tim Lee. And Matt, do you want to show it now? Let's do it, and then we can just celebrate how fabulous they are. Okay, here we go.
If I went from rags to riches, I know just what I do. I jump aboard my private plane and fly the world with you. Have lunch with Lady Gaga and tea with England's Queen. Then make our way to Monterey to a mansion by the sea. I'm over the top, but I'm deep in the hole. I'd love to run full steam ahead, but my shoes ain't got no soul. I could have been a lawyer,
But I fell for rock and roll.
gonna keep on chasing rainbows, searching for that pot of gold.
All right, cool. Let me show you what I got.
Let's go.
If I went from rags to riches, I know just what I do. I jump through board our private yacht and sail the seas with you. Drinks in hand, toes in the sand, and a fine Cuban cigar. Louis Vuitton, Dom Perignon, with a side of caviar.
I'm over the top, but I'm deep in the hole. I'd love to run full steam ahead, but my shoes ain't got no soul. I could have been a lawyer,
But I fell for rock and roll.
gonna keep on chasing rainbows, searching for that pot of gold. I know what I want, so I will. wished on every star, and then I could win the lottery and a repeat of shiny cars.
It might take some luck, but the thought will leave my head.
It meant some amounts of money, diamond rings and penthouse pads.
Oh, I want that.
Me too. Let's get it! I'm over the top, but I'm deep in the hole. One day I'll play my biggest hand and give them dice a roll. Just send my bills to Beverly Hills,
And lock that mansion door.
cause I keep on chasing rainbows.
Gonna keep on chasing rainbows.
Gotta keep on chasing rainbows.
Searching for that pot of gold.
Are you kidding?
Woohoo! Okay, Matt, our station manager, is a singer-songwriter. And I think he was
Feedback.
very
Matt, go.
impressed. What did you think, Matt? Matt loved it.
Matt loved it.
Is Matt coming to New York?
There you go.
Matt, are you coming to New York for the
Matt,
for the
you have
show?
to come to the opening.
I can't afford a flight to New
Well, guess what? We have to. Okay, Mark. Somehow you got to put a guest part, the hillbilly who comes in.
Nice, very nice.
I'm just.
Or the radio manager who's looking to become famous.
Oh my goodness, you
Excellent.
should hear this Matt sing and write songs as well. Somehow we gotta somehow maybe do a pre-show and he can come sing some of his songs for a pre-show.
Hey.
That was awesome.
There we go.
That was awesome. Right? Do they
Oh,
have
thank you so
fabulous
much.
voices?
Thanks.
Are they
Thank you.
amazing? Oh my gosh, and can they blend together beautifully?
Oh,
Their chemistry is
Oh,
incredible.
I'm like,
Oh my
I
goodness.
would like to think we sound like that, but I don't know.
It's okay. No, the chemistry, of course, is there. They're a couple, like we're a couple. We get to play husband and wife and parents to Mike.
But we
So
sing
you-
stuff like,
Mom and Dad.
They're that.
They are Mike's mom and dad.
Yes,
They
and
are.
we're going to be strict with you still, Mike. As
Keep me in
older,
But I
line.
want
we're
to see
still
Jeff
gonna be
with
strict.
G jam out like that when they're singing.
What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see Jeff with the G jam out like that when Austin and Bethany do
Absolutely.
their
Oh,
thing
we
on
will.
Oh,
stage.
you'll have to
Oh, we
fix
will.
the harness
Absolutely, Mark.
to stop me.
And we play nice. I love our parts. We're like flower children. We're easy. We're not uptight.
Well, I was sitting there
Fulfill your
dancing away,
dreams.
upstaging poor Bethany. I'm like, wait, I got to back off. So I was like,
Oh.
We were dancing here too.
Yeah, we were
Some of the
dancing
other
here.
beautiful songs. Actually, when we have Bucky and Eileen on, and maybe Tim, some of the other songs are so beautiful. Let's just
They really
mention
are.
a few of them.
We have 9 minutes left. So
Okay.
It's,
Is there something?
yeah.
Actually, Austin, tell us some of the other songs that you're doing that I think. are
Yeah,
so
sure.
beautiful.
I mean, it's just stacked. I think there's something like 11 or 12 original tracks that are slated to make the final score of the show. But there's all sorts of duets. We've got a beautiful duet with Don, which is Mindy's father, with myself, Don, and Mike, which is amazing because male duets are, far less common in musical theater. And this is just a stunning male duet, again,
What's the
about
name of that
pursuing your
one?
dreams.
What
That's
one?
called Pipe Dreams. It's called
one
Pipe
is
Dreams.
Blown away.
It's a beautiful, beautiful
one of the
duet.
most amazing songs.
Yeah,
I mean it.
it's so great, and I actually had the pleasure of singing that with Bucky Hurd of the Righteous Brothers. He sang the Don part, and I got to sing the Mike part. If you guys go check out our Facebook page or our social media, just search Mike and Mindy's Wild Weekend Jam on Facebook or on Instagram. It's the whole title of the show, the @sign Mike and Mindy's Wild Weekend Jam.
We'll
Follow
play
us.
that
We've got
next time.
content on there. Yeah, and we
We'll
actually
play
have
that
a video
next
of
time.
Pipe Dreams.
Oh.
Bucky and I singing Pipe Dreams on the social media. It's awesome. But there's all sorts of good songs. Bethany, you sing Shelf Life in the show.
Yeah, there's a
Shelf Life.
solo that's Mindy's solo called Shelf Life, and that's all about the struggle between should I still pursue my dreams or should I really listen to people who are saying it's not worth it, you need to get a normal job. I'm sure everybody's heard that who's a performer. It's very relatable.
Do you put your dreams on the shelf,
It's-
or do you
yeah.
pursue them? I mean, every song's packed with this idea of love trumps all and pursuing your dreams. So there's phenomenal solos with Mindy and with Mike and duets. And then beautiful ensemble pieces. It's very much an ensemble piece, the whole show.
Yes.
There's gorgeous harmonies that involve and have featured sort of vignette moments of the ensemble. So it's just superb. And Bucky Hurd and Timothy D. Lee of the Righteous Brothers have just done a stellar job. And I just want to say, I know we're short on time, but I just want to say that it's been such a thrill and an honor and an actor's dream come true for both Bethany and I to get to originate roles in a new musical, a new creation. I mean, that is many actors' dream in and of itself, is just to get to originate a role, and getting to open this, at the Players Theater this November, and Bethany getting to open as Mindy, and me getting to open as Mike in this new show. I mean, that's a thrill of a lifetime. And Bucky and Tim are even arranging the songs and making sure that the keys fit our voices, and they're asking for some of our input, and like Mark and Eileen are tweaking dialogue and using like Bethany's personality and my personality and our humor, and they're really interweaving like who we are as people and as actors to bring the show, bring these characters to life.
It's amazing.
It truly is an actor's dream, isn't it, Bethany?
Yeah, it's completely original. And then when you hear the lyrics of the songs and the script, it's just so clever. Like the first time I read it and heard any of the songs, I was like, I have to be in this. I read the script before I auditioned, and I just thought, this is just an amazing piece of theatre, and it's so relatable, and honestly, you have to come and see it.
Yeah, we're running November 4th to the 21st.
That's right, November. It's a 3-week run.
3-weekend run, Thursday through Sunday for 3 weeks, November 4th to the 21st at the Players Theater on McDougal Street. And the show's website is www.mikeandmindyswildweekendjam.com. It's just the full title of the show. You can see on the screen there in limegreen.com, and follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You'll find us, Mike and Mindy's Wild Weekend Jam. We would love to see you guys there.
And something else you want to say, Mark, as the creator and the top.
Yeah, I think first of all, I would like to thank the both of you for having us on the show and the opportunity to be able to discuss our journey and where we're at, and to be able to let people know of our vision and what we want to bring to the stage this coming November in New York City. The show itself brings diversity. It allows us to think, reflect, to bring people together, to help actors who are in the show create their dreams, and to help audiences come together and help reflect on their own dreams, and to not let their own dreams die. And that's really our vision, and couldn't be happier or luckier to be working with the group of people that I'm working with, and want to thank you both again for this opportunity.
Well, you know what? As Senior America, we had a philosophy, not a bathing suit. And I received in a dream.
You would have looked good in the bathing suit.
Oh, my sweet hubby.
No
I
doubt.
love you,
You
love you,
kidding
love
me?
you.
Well, the bathing suit and the dream.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, but anyway, what I was going to say,
Senior America.
my philosophy was, it's never too late to dream a new dream, and it's never too late to live out an old one. And especially now, so many people have been on Zoom and not able to be in person, on site. People are yearning for things to open up, to be able to go to the theater and to experience things live. And this is September 1st, Broadway and off-Broadway and off-Broadway is opening up. So what a perfect time for this to be
Amazing
taking
time.
place. And yes, everyone, no matter how old we are, no matter how young we are, we need to dream. Everyone, God puts dreams in people's hearts. We're all fearfully, wonderfully, uniquely made. No one's the same. And we have to celebrate each other. As Jeff's mom, my mother-in-law, always used to say, don't just tolerate, celebrate each other. We're all different. And that's the thing. This cast has all different characters, which is wonderful. And it's a chance to dream. So we always ask at the end of our show, do you have one special quote or something, a scripture to say that has been your personal one? Let's start with Miss Bethany.
No pressure.
My
No
one
pressure.
has
Is there
always
one quote or something like, fan that spark of tiny possibility into a flame of achievement? That's a quote Sister Antonia had given us when we were sophomores. And I often think of that. Do you have one, Mark or Austin?
Well, what
have
I
one.
would like to
Oh,
say,
sorry.
I'm sorry, Bethany, please go.
No. Oh, I was just going to say one that's always helped me is what is meant to be will always find a way.
Amen.
So
Oh, I like
it's
that.
out of your control. Whatever is for you won't go around you. Basically, my mum is
about
the one
that.
who always used to say that. So that's kind of it been instilled in me.
Oh, say that again.
It's always helped me a lot.
Say that again.
It's what is meant to be we'll always find a way.
I like that.
Yeah.
How about you,
For
Austin?
me, go
Mark,
ahead,
I
Austin.
want you to go because no, you've tried twice. I want
Mark,
you go,
this
Mark.
is
First
your
with
turn.
anxiety.
Rose's turn.
Well,
Go,
one of the
Mark.
things that I wanted to mention that I didn't get a chance to mention, and I'm not sure if it's much of a quote, but a dream for me that has come true, and I think it's any parent's dream, is that I have the opportunity to share the stage with amazing actors, but as a parent, I also have a daughter named Alexandria Corallo, who is an up-and-coming budding actress. She is on TikTok. She is TikTok famous.
Oh, she's
She is
amazing.
at Alex Corallo, and she will be performing with me as a father and daughter duet for an off-Broadway musical. So for me, I would like to take Bethany's quote and say, whatever is meant to be is meant to be. And I couldn't be more blessed and happier to have my own child on the stage with me. So follow her at Alex Corallo on TikTok.
And Mark, we have to have maybe Alex, Eileen, and Bucky and Tim on together.
That would be great.
There. Now, how old is Alex now?
Alex is just turned 16.
She's amazing. An amazing, lovely human
she's unreal.
being.
Yeah.
You raised her well. Isn't
Alex
she the
Corralo,
sweetest?
TikTok
She's
sensation.
so sweet and so talented.
And in the
Absolutely.
show.
And
In
in
the
the
show.
show.
Are you
So,
kidding me?
how did we not mention Alex earlier?
I wanted to.
Save
but
the best for
I knew
last.
that
But I
she
got
was
her
a
in.
big star. I didn't want to know about her.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Like
I'm
you
getting
said, you have to
Alex.
bring on some more of the team for another
Yeah.
episode.
Absolutely. Austin, what do you have to say?
Oh yeah. So mine has been sort of my life verse for a long time, and I've shared it for many years. And it's in every bio that's ever been in any playbill or anything I've ever done. It's Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And that's been my life verse for, at least 10 years, if not longer, honestly. So. And it is interesting because everything we're talking about, it all ties in together, doesn't it? I mean, what is meant to be will always find a way. The show, following your dreams, love conquers all, and then I've got my Bible verse here. We've all obviously had this pressed upon our hearts in our own journey, in our own time. So there's something pulling us all together here, and it seems like some good momentum and some good energy, and I think that we're about to do something really powerful and really celebratory. We even have a song in the show called "Celebrate." So
Yes. And you know what? There is a scripture that says, don't despise small beginnings. And sometimes that little seed, and it's just snowballs and gets bigger and bigger, and that's what I see it. Look, I'm on Zoom calls with the
Absolutely.
Broadway Grease people, and they were talking how they didn't know it would be that big, that it's everywhere.
Right.
And Grease Lightning was duct taped. And the
The
original
car was
duct taped.
yeah.
Like
Made out of duct tape.
yes, like there was duct tape holding it together.
Yeah,
And look what it
yeah.
evolved into. It's productions everywhere. And I kind of think Mike and Mindy has potential to be everywhere because it's a beautiful little musical. Okay, how many cast members are in it?
14.
Oh, 14. Okay.
14,
we're-
and we have 14 seconds.
Yes,
so
Matt
Peg's
is
gonna take
Matt
us
is
home.
giving us the clock. Lister Jeff, I think we have to ask Jeff for
Give
a
thanks.
little inspiration,
Give
what
thanks in
you'd
all
like to.
things, for
yes.
this is the will of God concerning those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purposes. And for some reason, God gave us a calling to be creative artists, and we pray that the efforts that we put forth would bring
Yes.
much fruit
Inspire.
and inspiration. So
Yes.
thank you all. Thank you for listening and watching.
Yes. Thank you, New
Open-ended.
York.
thanks for having us on. Thanks for
Lee.
having
Thank you for having us on.
And Mark with
Thank
a
you for
C,
having
and
us.
Austin with an A, and Bethany with a B. From
That's it.
international to East Coast to Midwest. Thank you, Mr. Matt, as well. Have a wonderful
Thank you, everyone.
day.
Love you. God
Thank you,
bless.
guys.
Have a blessed day.
Thank
Have a-
you.